Hey there! Here we're at the Hedera Wyckoff session again, and is Hedera still heading towards the Upthrust? That's the big question, so let's take a quick look. Again, let's start with the weekly chart, and here those were the tags we added in previous sessions asking, hey, is this an LPSY or is it all the way heading to the Upthrust? But last week and as of this moment, this weekly candle, with just 3 days of time, it seems that the price has been retracing a little. So, giving this, but also, if we look at the volume bar, even though we have some red candles, the volume has been declining and quite significantly as well. And like during the July 21st, that volume has been pretty high and showing a long tail. So there's quite a bit of support above this yellow key level. The yellow key level, I've added this rainbow color so it's easier to talk about it. So 25 cents is a very key level over here. So it's basically extended from the automatic reaction back in December last year, as well as some LPSYs and automatic reaction as well from as early as 2021. So it's a very significant level over here, and that's why this week, over the past 3 days, we see this little pin over here that the bulls and the bears are fighting or battling around this key level. And then if this road to the Upthrust isn't over yet, or at least a second test around the buying climax level, if this is not over yet, what are the indications? So let's draw a channel box again. So if we look at this, since the big, late March, early April, there has been a trend building up in the weekly chart, and both the top and the bottom of this upward channel has been established since then, all the way till like mid-June. So that those points has given us this channel box right now that I've drawn here. So while the price actions are still staying within this channel box, I'll consider it the path to the Upthrust is still going on. Unless it comes outside of the box, then we have to wait for another channel to build up for that to happen. We will see in the daily chart in just a minute what I mean by that. So as of this moment, looking at the weekly chart, while it's battling around this yellow, it may come down to test the orange and then climb up again, head to the Upthrust level. That's one possibility. Especially we always see these triangles when time goes on, if the price is still trading like within the triangle, much like what happened here, right? So we see the price came near to the edge of the triangle around early July, and then that's when the breakout happened, and it went so strong that it went through all three resistance lines. And then now that we are getting closer to another triangle, well, there's still a few weeks left, to be honest, from now till the beginning of next month, or even the middle of next month, if it really gets so close to the triangle like last time. There's still time for some horizontal trading before the breakout happens, if that's the scenario one I mentioned. If it doesn't, if the demand really dies down, not that I see a lot of panic selling, looking at the volume, it probably could stay around the yellow. Best if it can close above, then that's another triangle it's going to deal with, and like a better case for the bulls, whoever are the bulls. And then looking at the daily charts, last week we said, okay, is the price showing us going to show us a sign of weakness. We put in a question mark and then an LPSY, and both just happened to be the sign of weakness happening almost at the same level as the previous sign of weakness back in late July. And then this LPSY already happened over here just 2 days ago. So all stages bingo. And however, this upward channel within the daily chart has been broken. So the price has fallen outside of this, as well as staying below the yellow line, as well as this short-term playground zone. So this short-term playground zone is something that since February or late January this year, let's say February to be clear, since then, most of the time, you can see almost 90% of the time, the price has been trading within this short-term playground zone. As of now, it has just returned to the zone. If this in the daily chart is really retreating because of what's happening over here, if the weekly is going to challenge the orange or like find a more solid support from the orange key level, then in here we'll see the price retreat to this lower point. However, this daily distribution cycle hasn't finished yet, because if in the weekly the price stays within this upward channel, it will rebound and then go hit that upthrust over there. Then in daily chart, it will become a scenario like this. Like I said in the beginning, the upward channel has been broken in the daily. However, if the price rebound, then it will establish a new upward channel to challenge the upthrust level in the weekly. So you see this here, right? So when it goes up in the weekly like that towards the upthrust over there, then this becomes an upthrust of the distribution in the daily chart. So whether that would happen and when, or how quickly this new upward channel will be established, if all the environment are positive and there's sufficient support for Hedera, we'll have to see. It looks like, as said in the beginning, this triangle around probably early mid-September, by the latest, we will see either it falls outside of this upward trend and maybe establish another one, or scenario 2, it breaks out and goes straight to try that level. Option 3, it goes down even further and show us a phase D sign of weakness in the weekly chart. So 3 different options that can happen. So in the weekly chart, I'll still keep the upthrust tag over there as well as this LPSY, but since I mentioned sign of weakness, hopefully it doesn't happen that soon. I hope it will see an upthrust before the sign of weakness, the phase D sign of weakness appear. Going back to the daily, likewise, since we have this already happened, and now it's like trading, trying to get above back to the yellow line, still it may come down for a bit more to the orange line. So let's put a tag here and see whether a new channel is going to develop to the upside. Obviously, if it really falls below the orange, then it's going to struggle and probably re-enter the accumulation zone, much like what happened between April and June. So this accumulation I'm referring to, well, there was a bit of distribution in between during May time, but these short accumulation was what's needed for the boost upwards back in mid-late June. So hopefully it doesn't go that way, but that's a possibility. So that's all for Hedera. Wishful thinking, an upthrust. when it finally finds support between the orange and yellow, worst case scenario, it comes down to another sign of weakness, and then hopefully not directly entering into a new accumulation